Severe gender imbalances in countries like China and India are having major impacts on the global economy, driving higher savings rates and even creating a so-called loneliness economy.
중국과 인도 등의 극심한 성비 불균형이 저축률 상승과 외로움 경제 창출 등 글로벌 경제에 큰 영향을 미치고 있습니다. Okay, so China's marriage rate itself has reportedly hit a record low.
Yeah, I mean, we hear about record low marriage rates and birth rates here in Korea, but China last year recorded just 6.106 million marriages. That would be amazing for Korea, but think of the whole population of China. And it's the lowest number on record, less than half what it was in 2014, which is about a decade ago. Experts say the decline is largely because of the demographic shift, so people born in the 90s and 2000s, when the gender imbalance due to that one-child policy was at its worst, and now reaching marriageable age. And so there just aren't the right number of the opposite sex to get married, which is unbelievable as a side effect of that one-child policy, right?
That's right. And one-child policy, of course, meaning that people were aborting the female fetuses and so
Yes.
on. You know, when you say 6.1 million marriages, honestly, that doesn't really... It doesn't give me a perspective.
No, it doesn't
'Cause-
sound small,
Yeah,
right?
because you don't really remember the population of China off the top of your head.
No.
But as you mentioned, compared to 10 years ago, 10년 전인 2014년보다 혼인 수가 절반으로 뚝 떨어진 거예요.
Wow.
And just the year before, it's 20% less.
Oh my
그
goodness.
전년도에 비해서는 20% 줄었는데 that's a humongous drop. It's a drop that you will feel every day, right?
Absolutely. And of course, in modern times, I'm guessing even in China, certainly in Korea, we're seeing it. There are different types of quote unquote family now.
Yeah.
You don't have to get married, especially to have children as well. And in the West, it's been like that for ages. But it's still, I'm sure, going to have a tangible effect on like population and whatnot. And yeah, this isn't restricted just to China, right?
Right, because China is not the only country, as we know, unfortunately, that prefers to have male children. We're, of course, talking about marriages, so the actual births would have occurred around 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
India is another country with a huge population where the marriage rates are dropping and where the gender imbalance is causing some shifts in how
Yeah.
people spend money.
I mean, here in Korea, we used to prefer sons until not very long ago. And now, like, the preference for daughters is
Yeah.
so great as well. It's so interesting. But I'm wondering, because India, as far as I'm aware, didn't have the same, like, one-child policy as China. So if they always preferred sons, would there not be a similar imbalance? Or is it because maybe technology and ultrasounds and you could
Yeah.
abort fetuses, is that why it's more pronounced now, perhaps?
You're spot on. It is
Okay.
because of the technology. 울트라사운드 그 초음파 때문에 우리가 미리 성별을 알 수 있잖아요. And that's where the selection process happens.
Goodness.
And also, of course, in India, you have the dowry system. 지참금 문화라는 게 있기 때문에 that is also apparently another reason for the marriage rates dropping there.
Ah, that can be burdensome, can't it? Even like the, what do we call it? The Honsu?
혼수.
Honsu culture, which has died out a lot, can put
Right.
people off from getting married here in Korea, right?
Right. And 요즘은 이제 반반 결혼으로 많이 가는 추세죠.
그렇죠.
So possibly that might be the future for these two countries.
Just like fried chicken, 반반. Sorry.
반반.
I'm thinking about chicken so much right
아이,
now.
그거는 다음
오케이,
겁니다.
오케이,
다
참을게요.
다음 거네요.
네,
조금만
참을게요.
기다려주세요.
네.
자, now you might think that these imbalances they're occurring in just two countries. 두 나라에만 있는 건데 글로벌 이코노미에 무슨 영향을 미쳐? 그런데 you have to remember these two countries have a ginormous population.
Yeah, 1 and 2 in the world, right?
Yeah.
And then the link to the economy and what effect it's having is really intriguing, right? With China, they've got an unusually high savings rate, around 43.8% of GDP, compared to the average, which is around a bit over half, 26%. And research suggests that parents of sons save more to boost their sons' competitiveness in the marriage market, like maybe getting a house ready or something
Right.
like that. That's so intriguing. Do I need to start saving for my son?
Well, you've
to get
already
married?
passed that threshold, haven't you, of getting married?
Yeah, but for my
for
son.
your sons.
Yeah,
Oh.
now well, I hope he's not getting married soon, but if he does, do I need to give him a load of money to make him competitive?
Well, nowadays, as you mentioned, people prefer female daughters.
Yes.
So maybe it'll work in the other way.
But then I've got a daughter. So what do I do with that?
Okay,
oh,
so
goodness
you need to
gracious.
save money regardless.
Yes, okay, let's save.
right.
And so that has maybe even had a knock-on effect on fueling China's real estate boom. Like prices really increased. They're stagnating now. But yeah, the gender gap is also creating new markets because there's single and unmarried individuals. So there's the loneliness economy, which is, I guess, kind of linked to Korea in its honsul, honbap, and that kind of 문화 as well. That
That's
kind of
right.
culture.
Now, one thing you mentioned just there was gender gap, gender imbalance, 성비 불균형이죠. And that's what we have been talking about. Here's the article once more. Severe gender imbalances in countries like China and India are having major impacts on the global economy, driving higher savings rates and even creating a so-called loneliness economy.